Hi, my name is Lauren Holley-Allen. For those who have not met me, you are now on Emergency Management Made Easy with Lauren. Thank you for being here. This is class number 31 of a series. However, for the month of December, this is a series within a series. 31 starts with, it's hot. Fire is hot. So I have a quick quiz question for you. What do? You learn to protect others and you. You don't want to burn up in a fire. You don't want to have one. You don't want to even be involved in one. You want to stay safe. So first, let's look at staff responsibilities during the fire emergency. How much have you learned, and will you learn new information that you're not familiar with today? So let's look at it. The following instructions are for staff to assist in the evacuation of building occupants. To some of that should sound familiar because we reviewed it, we've worked with planning in it, and you've heard it before. But let's go further. It's important to remember to assist only when it's safe. I don't think we talked enough about that because we've talked about evacuation, who to assist, how to assist our special needs population. But there are times, and remember the nursing home where people were injured and they couldn't get to the people who were on the second floor of the nursing home. Some had to go to the hospital, some died. So there are times when we cannot assist. It's just not safe. But in that case, fortunately, the fire department and the ambulance teams all were excellent in helping people. In the event of a fire, staff should use their own judgment in deciding how safe it is to provide help or aid. And there are times when you just can't, or you too will burn up in the fire, unfortunately. Fires can start from natural causes, but many of them are man-made: gas leaks, forest fires, kitchen, trash can, or electrical fires. Staff responsibilities during the fire emergency. The following instructions are for staff to assist in the evacuation of building occupants. It's important to remember to assist only when it is safe to assist. In the event of fire, staff persons will need to use their own judgment. In the event of being advised of fire or hearing the fire alarm, ensure the alarm has been sounded. The security or designated person should immediately contact the local fire department, calling 911 or whatever is appropriate in your community or country. Give the name and address of the building and telephone number. Meet the fire first responders, explain the situation, and apprise them of the steps that have been taken in accordance with the fire safety plan that we wrote together, our fire safety plan. For instance, the congregation are all evacuated. The school are all evacuated. The building are all evacuated. That means you have done a good job. The staff or designees should immediately move vulnerable populations and wheelchairs to safe, pre-planned areas away from the building or campus. That was a part of our evacuation procedure. The security team, teachers, clergy, or designated persons will immediately direct all individuals to exits. Exit the building using the pre-planned evacuation routes and move away from the edifice or campus or buildings or business. After all individuals have been cleared from the bathrooms and meeting rooms areas, close all doors behind you to the immediate area of the fire to help isolate the smoke and fire. Do not lock the doors. Mark all doors after clearing the rooms. The fire department has to have access to them. I don't think we have not talked about that before. Report to administrators or designees after all rooms are clear. Did everybody get out? We're kind of emphasizing that, but I want to drive that home so you will not forget it. Notify the law enforcement of fire first responders if anyone is missing during the emergency. Who's missing? Who went to the bathroom and didn't return? Have you checked all of the building? Have you checked? Bathroom, office, everywhere. If you think someone is missing. Now, the National Fire Protection Guidance, Fire Safety Planning. This is the United States assessment data for buildings and campuses. Let's look at how they assess. This is very interesting. I thought you might find it educational. Let's look at the main sanctuary. Let's look at types of construction. When you look at a building, you ever think about how it's constructed? And also, do you ever think about how safe it might be or not be? Access. What are the access points? The doors. How do you get in the building? Are there any side doors that are used? Keys. Who has access to the keys in the building? Where are they? Did the fire department have access to them if they needed them? Location of portable fire extinguishers. Everyone who's ever had a safety drill, who will ever have a safety drill, should know where the portable fire extinguishers are. In the building, the occupants, the students, clergy, business owners, everyone. That's part of your fire drill. Location of exit signs. In an emergency, do you know which way to go to get out? And I'm sure it's in my notes, but are the exit signs clear? Are the doors cleared? Or is there clutter in front of the doors? I think I drove this point home before, but this month would be a good time to drive home points again to make sure you are aware. Smoke barrier system, fire doors and utility chassis. And all of this is necessary, and the fire department will want to know where it is. The smoke barrier systems. Detection devices, heats, smoke, or flame detectors, local or central station systems. The fire department, they're experts. They want to know where all of this is when they come into that building and how to access it. Emergency exits again, never cluttered. Stairwells, never cluttered, always accessible. If you are in the building and you see something in a stairwell or a box or whatever, immediately let the maintenance person know, or you get it up and take it to the maintenance person, whatever you have to do, because everyone should always stay safe and exits should always be clear. Your maintenance schedule, that has to do with your furnace and all of it, even your kitchen area. Maintenance schedules. Maintenance definitions, and we will cover those this month, by the way, some of these that you've never heard of before. Just giving you some additional insight and education for your planning meetings if something comes up that you need to talk about. Fire department access buildings. Type of construction again. The heating system again. Fire exits location, entry and exits. Evacuation routes, we talked about those extensively. How to evacuate and where to go. Do you know where you're going to? Remember that? Stairwells again. Doors, post signs on permanently closed doors so everyone will be aware. Elevators. What's the elevator rule? Repeat it with me. Ensure the elevators are not used during emergencies and drills. Ensure the elevators are not used during emergencies and drills. Don't use them. Not safe. Take the stairs. Floor plan maps, fire evacuation diagrams. Sounds like something the fire department would want to take a look at once they come into the building. Make sure you know where they are and they are accessible if you're one of the designees. And the designees are a part of the emergency planning team. Sorry. Ensure all exits are clear, free of clutter at all times. I keep writing that over again. Fire safety reminders before new construction and during renovations. This is interesting. Want to hear about it? Well, even your home, even your business, even the school. But prior to beginning your new construction of buildings, or your new house of worship, or your new addition or renovation of your business, take time to learn common fire hazards and how to avoid them. When the construction is completed, learn the details about how to conduct annual fire safety with your teams. Be sure to have your evacuation plan in place and schedule fire safety inspections with your local fire department. Yes. And you and your team can determine how often you will want to meet with the fire department. Now, guidance during construction. Oh, you're adding a new wing onto your house, or you're adding a new department in terms of your building, and of course, being aware of building codes and what they are and what the laws are too in that building. So there's a lot to it. The fire department, your engineers, whoever you're working with, may need to be involved. And I'm sure they will, especially the persons who are helping you to design your new wing or your new building. So let's see what we have here. Prior to beginning the construction of your new building or addition or renovation, when the construction is completed, learn the details about how to conduct annual fire safety with your team. Be sure to have your evacuation plan in place and schedule fire safety inspections with your local fire department. Can't repeat it enough. The guidance, again, 1, follow your local legal requirements for the minimum height of the building numbers to ensure visibility. Building numbers should be large enough to be read from the street, and your local fire department needs to easily be able to read all signs on your building. 2, emergency exits should be properly illuminated within the campus building street view. 3, mark fire extinguishers clearly and make sure they are easily accessible. 4, clearly mark all electrical control panels inside of the building. Identify occupants who use all campus facilities or building. Adults and children occupants, what time do they utilize the building and how? Staff, clergy in offices and meeting rooms. Building, studio area open from 8 to 5 p.m. That's a good example. Customers and clients attend special meetings on Saturdays from 12 to 4, just to give you an example. All regularly scheduled and evening services, other miscellaneous classroom meetings. Adults, school, and meetings. Church school, children's school, and other classes. Visitors and congregants, great rooms, parties for dining, meeting, and gatherings. Know your buildings, know what they're utilized for. Emergency call down lists. Update all new information, all new hires, volunteers. Who is on the call down list in case of emergency? All staff, administrators, and designees, name and contact information. Additional backup persons, designees, contractors, maintenance teams. Who belongs in that building? Who uses that building? What time do they use that building? And in case of emergency, is there in and out board? Is there technology? How do you contact your people? Who are your people on staff? Where are they at all times? What time do they come to work? What time do they use the building? All of that is important information in case of emergencies. Not just fires, hurricanes, tornadoes, and we've talked about some of this before. Walkie-talkies are home, cell phone numbers, all of it. Especially walkie-talkies for people who are designated on the training team in the building. Everybody is out of the building. So you may have a couple of people with walkie-talkies talking with each other as they assess the building. And the fire department may not be there yet, but they're on their way. So you might have forgotten some of the procedures we've talked about, and you might not be aware of some. So I decided to use December, 3 additional classes after this, to just review information, news that you can use. That's going to be our focus for the next 3 weeks. And I hope you enjoy it because I enjoy doing it. And I also enjoy the review because there was information in this presentation that I had kind of not thought about and needed to think about to share with you. So, my name is Lauren Holley-Allen, and I approve this message. Think about these notes. Email me, please, if you have questions, and some of you do. And I will be happy to get back to you. And next week when we come, maybe I can answer some of those questions. I do try to slip them in. Prepare before it happens at outlook.com. That's where I live. Email me there or email me on the YouTube. They have a spot. You can just send a note to me by way of YouTube. Thank you so much for coming. See you next Friday. Bye-bye. Finish your Christmas wrapping.